Mountain Smith here. I am going to be reading Exodus 16 for the very first time, so just my honest thoughts and opinions and probably some ramblings as I have never read it before. So if you're interested on a brand new fresh take on the Bible in a number of chapters, because this is just kind of what I am doing, feel free to join me. I'm actually reading the New Living Translation, so follow along if you want. And I'm going to get right into it here. Manna and quail from heaven. Manna or manna? Manna and quail? I'm going to say manna. I don't really know. Somebody can probably help me out there. We'll figure this out. But I think it's manna and quail from heaven. I don't know what manna is, but all right. Well, that would be, I've heard that from like the Hawaiians, I think, right? Is that what they say? Manna? Something like that. Okay. Then the whole community of Israel set out from Elim and journeyed into the wilderness of Sin. Oh gosh, that sounds terrible. Or exciting, but probably terrible if we're speaking about the biblical side of things. The wilderness of Sin. What is in the wilderness of Sin? Between Elim and Mount Sinai, I'm going to mess up the names, and I don't know how to say that. Elim, that's the place that I guess all the Israelites went to after they were brought out of Egypt, and they've been following Moses. But I guess they went to Elim, I'm not really sure. So now they're headed into the wilderness of Sin. Between Elim and Mount Sinai, they arrived there on the 15th day of the second month, 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt. There too, the whole community of Israel complained about Moses and Aaron. I've noticed also in my reading is that there seems to be some very specific time frames of things, and maybe that's because, they say that the Bible is supposed to be read not narratively, but kind of as a historical side of things as well. While many other people say, it's based on fiction, but I have realized that I think that it definitely falls in line with a lot of history, because there seems to be a lot of very specifics in terms of time, just like this, where it says they arrived there on the 15th day of the second month, 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt. That's pretty specific. So, I don't know, just kind of an interesting note to think about, and that kind of makes sense as the way I've read this. I'm reading it not as somebody as of faith, but as somebody who's trying to understand it from a narrative and maybe historical side of things. Okay, so next up. If only the Lord had killed us back in Egypt, they moaned. There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us into this wilderness to starve us all to death. Ah, that sounds about right. You're traveling, you've been following what the Israelites here, they were brought out of Egypt. Now they've been following Moses and his brother, Aaron, and now they're following them. And if there's no food, there's no water, they're having trouble. That makes a lot of sense. That they would be grumbling and complaining. I mean, Moses doesn't probably exactly know what he's doing anyway. That's the reality. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I'm going to rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people can go out and pick up as much food as they need for the day. I will test them in this to see whether or not they follow my instructions. On the 6th day they will gather food, and when they prepare it, there will be twice as much as usual." See again, 6th day. They're very specific in these instructions. And why is the Lord saying to Moses he's going to rain down food and these people need to follow his instructions? It's, oftentimes it just seems like every time the Lord or God, the way this is written here, and mind you, I'm only at Exodus 16, he's constantly saying that he's going to do something and that the people must follow it. And again, this is where he's saying again, I will test them in this to see whether or not they will follow my instructions. Why is he always wanting to test these people? Is it, I almost want to come back around to the original thought, which is where Adam and Eve, because Eve didn't do what the Lord instructed, and that was to eat from the tree of knowledge. She did it. Adam then ate something, even though he knows he shouldn't have. And from that point on, essentially all humans were doomed. Okay, so maybe that is why the Lord God is consistently within this, saying that he's going to test people, saying that he's going to challenge people, saying that people need to follow his instructions, because he already knows the nature of humans right from the get-go. That's kind of where I'm thinking, because it's constantly where he's saying now, these people need to follow my instructions. All right, so on the 6th day, they will gather food, and when they prepare it, there will be twice as much as usual. Not really sure why there will be twice as much as usual, but I guess we'll find out. So Moses and Aaron said to all the people of Israel, "By evening you will realize it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt. In the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your complaints, which are against him, not against us." Moses is like, look. I'm just here following what the Lord is doing. You guys got to help me out here, okay? Everyone, don't get mad at me. This is the Lord. I'm following what the Lord is saying, and you're going to see that it's the Lord. It's not me that's telling you guys. Poor Moses, he's stuck here. He's like, why are you guys complaining to me? I'm just doing what the Lord asked. Come on, man. All right, so what have we done? Oh, not against us. What have we done that you should complain about us? Then Moses added, the Lord will give you meat to eat in the evening and bread to satisfy you in the morning, for he has heard all of your complaints against him. What have we done? Yes, your complaints are against the Lord, not us. Yeah, Moses is kind of defending. He's like, hey, look, Moses and Aaron, he's like, look, he's got to defend his position, because they're probably, you can probably imagine for that moment, they're probably rising up because he has led them out of Egypt. He led them through the Red Sea. He led them everywhere, and he's following what the Lord wanted. But at this point, they're probably starving, and hunger is going to be the first thing that all humans start to complain about and start to wonder. I mean, if we don't have food, we die. That's of course. So these people are probably getting irritated. They're starting to rise up, and Moses is just like, no, hold on. I mean, put yourself in that position for a moment. Aaron and Moses are like, we're doing all this, but it's not us. It's not us. We're doing what the Lord wanted. If he wants to do something for you guys, then he will. If he wants you to starve, he wants you to starve. If he wants me to starve, he wants me to starve. Moses is just obeying, essentially. So it's such an interesting thought to really put yourself in that mindset there. Then Moses said to Aaron, announce this to the entire community of Israel. Present yourselves before the Lord, for he has heard your complaining. And as Aaron spoke for the whole community of Israel, they looked out toward the wilderness. There they could see the awesome glory of the Lord in the cloud. There they could see the awesome glory of the Lord in the cloud. Wait, so I wonder if that means that the Lord is showing himself to the community of Israel? I don't know. Then the Lord said to Moses, I have heard the Israelites' complaints. Now tell them, in the evening you will have meat to eat, and in the morning you will have all the bread you want. Then you will know that I am the Lord, your God. That evening, vast numbers of quail flew in and covered the camp. And the next morning, the area around the camp was wet with dew. When the dew evaporated, a flaky substance as fine as frost blanketed the ground. The Israelites were puzzled when they saw it. What is it? They asked each other. They had no idea what it was. It's snow. That's what it is. There's quail and there's snow. And Moses told them, it is the flood the Lord has given you to eat. These are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much of it as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent. So the people of Israel, I'm assuming it's snow, right? It has to be. Flaky white dust, right? Frost. So the people of Israel did as they were told. Some gathered a lot, some only a little. But when they measured it out, everyone had just enough. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. Each family had just what it needed. Then Moses told them, "Do not keep any of it until morning." But some of them didn't listen and kept some of it until morning. But by then it was full of maggots and had a terrible smell. Moses was very angry with them. Ew, they got maggots that quickly and it rotted? I mean, it's frost, right? But quail? So the food spoiled overnight. So after this, the people gathered the food, morning by morning, each family according to its need. And as the sun became hot, the flakes they had not picked up melted and disappeared. On the sixth day, they gathered as much as usual, 4 quarts, for each person instead of 2. Then all the leaders of the community came and asked Moses for an explanation. He told them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow will be a day of complete rest, a holy Sabbath day set apart for the Lord. So bake or boil as much as you want today and set aside what is left for tomorrow." Set aside, okay, so a holy Sabbath day is set apart. So this is the 7th day, I'm assuming, 7th day of Sabbath. So this is why they have to collect more food, so that way they have more for the seventh day, 3. Interesting. So basically what we're got going on here is all these people have to believe that the Lord is going to provide for them. He's providing them quail, he's providing them frost, he's telling them that, hey, I'm going to give you food. I wonder if they're traveling though also, because are these people actually traveling or are they just sitting there? Have they actually traveled into the wilderness of sin as it originally was? And why is it called the wilderness of sin? That's a good question. We have not been told that yet. So they put some aside until morning, just as Moses had commanded. And in the morning, the leftover food was wholesome and good, without maggots or odor. Moses said, "Eat this food today, for tomorrow is a Sabbath day dedicated to the Lord. There will be no food on the ground today. You may gather the food for 6 days, but the 7th day is the Sabbath. There will be no food on the ground that day." Some of the people went out anyway on the 7th day, but they found no food. The Lord asked Moses, "How long will these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions? They must realize that the Sabbath is the Lord's gift to you." So he, as in the Lord, is saying, look, I'm going to provide you all the food that you need. I'm going to provide you everything possible. And I'm also going to provide you twice as much, so that way you can rest on the Sabbath and just enjoy your day, I guess. And now they're going out and they're trying to find more food and collect it. And the Lord is now asking Moses, like, why are they doing that? They must realize that the Sabbath is the Lord's gift to you. The Lord asked Moses, "How long will these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions?" Probably a little misinterpretation there based on things, because that seems like a question that the Lord would already know. He wouldn't need to ask Moses, unless Moses wanted to ask the Lord. But, never know. Okay. This is why he gives you a 2-day supply on the 6th day, so there will be enough for 2 days. On the Sabbath day, you must each stay in your place. Do not go out to pick up food on the 7th day. So the people did not gather any food on the 7th day. The Israelites called the food manna. It was white like coriander seed, and it tasted like honey wafers. Ooh, honey wafers sound good. The food was called manna. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Fill a 2-quart container with manna to preserve it for your descendants. Then later generations will be able to see the food I gave you in the wilderness, when I set you free from Egypt." Gave you in the wilderness, when I set you free from Egypt. Okay. Moses said to Aaron, "Get a jar and fill it with 2 quarts of manna. Then put it in a sacred place before the Lord to preserve it for all future generations. Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He eventually placed it in the Ark of the Covenant. In the Ark of the Covenant, okay. In front of the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. So the people of Israel ate manna for 40 years until they arrived at the land where they would settle. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. Wait, okay, so I'm going to finish this because we're almost here at the very end here. The container used to measure the manna was an omer, which was 1/10 of an ephah. It held about 2 quarts. That's really tough to say. E-P-H-A-H. I don't know how to say that, but it was 1/10 of an ephah. It held about 2 quarts. Okay, so very, very specific there. But let's back up here for a second. Get a jar filled with 2 quarts of manna, then put it in the sacred place before the Lord to preserve it for all future generations. Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He eventually placed it in the Ark of the Covenant, in front of the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. So the people of Israel ate manna for 40 years until they arrived at the land where they would settle. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. So are we saying that 40 years has now passed? Is that the way I'm reading it here in Exodus 16? We've now moved ahead for 40 years? Or is this just saying that for 40 years they did eat manna? But the people of Israel ate manna for 40 years, then they arrived at the land they would settle. So these Israelites, wherever they have now gone to the border, to border of the land of Canaan, this is where they're traveling to, and this is where they're actually supposed to settle. This is kind of what I'm reading. Somebody can correct me by all means. I mean, this is my first time reading, so this is very difficult. And we're here at the end of Exodus 16. So if you read this far, thank you. This is, I'm messing up the words. It's my first time reading it. It's a difficult thing.